painting the sun. So inhale, reach it up, big stretch. Oh, good, big, big reach. Good, and oh, yeah. Oh, you guys got it. Good. Do it one more time. So inhale, bring it all the way up, big stretch. And then bring it all the way down. I just wanted to share with you maybe some ideas about teaching in assisted living classes. You and I both have been doing it for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, when you first did, the very first time you had that class and you came in, just kind of tell me when you looked at the room, what did you see? What kind of students?
Most of the people in this class are infirmed in some way. They're in walkers or wheelchairs. Some of them have a hard time speaking. A lot of them have a hard time hearing. So I really had to get an understanding of my audience initially and speak with each one, introduce myself to each person, and really talked with them to understand what I was dealing with. And I had to raise my level of voice. I had to just speak louder. And I couldn't play music. I usually play music in my class. And I had made a whole series of songs from their generation because I thought that would be interesting. But they didn't want the music because they couldn't hear me.
That's such a good point. I mean, I was the same. I came with my nice little roller bag. I had some belts. I had my blocks. I had my eye pillows. I had my music. Mm-hmm. I didn't use any of that.
I didn't. Yeah.
And even like a sort of kind of a script to begin with, I just realized that, oh my gosh, so much of it they're not going to be able to do. That's right. So did you also have people that didn't participate at all?
Oh, yes. Yes, and I was constantly interrupted with their history. I can't do that. I can't lift my arm, and so they interrupt you to tell you why they can't do something, and that's really not important at all. Mm-hmm. So you have to constantly give them confirmation that what they're doing is fine, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Whether they're doing anything at all. That the fact that they came here and sat with you for the hour, that's great.
Yeah. So then if you come a couple times and they get used to your face, they kind of know what the drill is, here's a yoga teacher, we're going to be doing some movement. Do you find that people kind of warmed up to the idea and maybe they participated more than the ones that didn't?
Absolutely. The more you go, the more they want to participate. My very first class, I had a lot of people just checking it out. Mm-hmm. They were cautious. They were afraid to make a movement because they've been instructed so much about don't put weight on this or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That I was really watching, and they were watching me because they were there. I don't know about this yoga.
So I'm curious, did you develop any kind of sequence that you never ever used before, but since you were in an assisted living class and you saw the limitations, you just came up with something? Can you think about anything?
Yes. I would simplify a lot of them. When you do elbow to knee or any of the twists, I saw some of their limitations. And I just make it simpler. I'm just like, put your hands on your hips. Or just anything to make it simpler and easier. And then as they had success doing it, then they want to go for more. Mm-hmm. But they've got to have the success first.
One thing that I tried, which again came to me out of Clear Blue Sky, was the concept of opposites. Because the whole right and left brain concept for them, it's really complicated. So I would do, take your right hand to your left shoulder, and I would pause, and I would look. Of course, some people are doing the same one. Maybe some people got it. And then we do the opposites, and then we do the opposite leg. And then we would repeat that pattern. And it was so interesting to see people really trying, really wanting to get it. Oh, I'm anticipating the next movement, And then I even had one where you lift up the leg. And they were really trying hard. Some people can't move their legs at all.
Right.
And other people were maybe taking the leg and moving it up. So for me, I felt as a teacher, I was ad-libbing a lot.
Yes.
I was thinking of common things that I do and saying, okay, how can I make it more accessible to these students?
Exactly. And the other thing that I found that I had to do was, instead of saying left to right, I had to mirror them. So I had to use my right to left.
Oh, that's so hard.
Because they watch you and they're going to use the same hand, And then it really doesn't matter, as long
Right.
as we do both sides.
Right.
But it was unnerving to them, because, if they didn't have it right, then they'd stop.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good point. And I think that, forget the concept of a teacher walking around and
Right.
correcting people, right? You're not doing that.
No.
You are totally in front of them, you're doing every single pose with them, you're talking loudly, and you're almost sometimes exaggerating the movement so they can really see you, because we know a lot of them probably can't see very well
That's
too.
right. That's
So
right.
you take on a different teacher personality in a way, don't you think?
Absolutely.
In these classes?
I'm
Yeah.
I'm a different type of teacher in these classes.
Yeah.
And the one thing is to simplify it and kind of relate to their generation. For instance, like you said today, we're doing the twist.
Mhm.
Or anything that they can have a connection
Mhm.
to their youth
Right?
and when they had a lot of movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Even bringing in the name of a song or something
That's
like that.
right. And that's
Yeah.
why I had all these songs from their generation,
Right.
but so
Yeah.
much for the music.
The reason why I'm having this little discussion, because I want you to not be afraid to teach at an assisted living class or teach to people in wheelchairs, because you know what? You're going to be fine. You're going to go there thinking you got it down, you got a script, you got everything in control, but you know what? You won't, and don't worry about it. You're going to find your true light. It's going to shine really bright, and you know what? They're going to love having you back. Because Connie, don't they love having you?
Oh, they look forward to it.
Yeah.
And my group grows
Yeah.
each week.
Yeah. They tell each other.
Yeah, they do.
You got to check out this yoga thing.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, teachers.